So let us not create unnecessary problems.
Good.
If the special prosecutor is established to perform certain functions, are we intending somebody else to give him a warrant to start that which the Act of Parliament has given him or her to do?
Good.
Hold on. What authorization? Let us be careful so that we do not open unnecessary Pandora's box. This is because issues of co-warrant or lawyer, you know, they can be very long-winded.
Good.
Yes, Honorable Chairman, Honorable Buabin. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to react and add on to your erudite direction and emphasize that the authorization by the Attorney General is grounded in the Constitution. The Constitution says that the authorization is by a law passed by Parliament. It is this very law that we are passing which enables the Attorney General to authorize. With the permission of Mr. Speaker, if I may read Article 88.4, then please read. Mr. Speaker, it reads,
right.
All offences prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him in accordance with any law. And it implies here, the last phrase under Article 88.4 says, in accordance with any law. This House is imbued with the power to pass that law under Article 106.
Yeah.
Therefore, in that law, we can set out the proviso, which says that the delegation of the authority is done. Mr. Speaker, once this law provides for that, there's no point in setting out any other processes for delegating authority of the Attorney General. Article 88.4 provides for it, and that is the law we are passing now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay. Mr. Speaker, thank you. Honorable Member Bernard Ahiafo comes in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. On this note, I want to disagree with the Honorable Member for Adenta. Mr. Speaker, if you look for Article 88.4, he reads, and I quote with your permission, then he also repeats. So it is the Attorney General who will have to be given the authority. But this bill that we are passing, it is not the Attorney General. The Attorney General is different from this particular law. She must give the authority in accordance with the law. So the law is now seeking to be given the authority instead of the Attorney General giving the authority. You don't understand what he's saying? So that is where the problem is. Then Chairman Sabuzuka, Mr. Speaker, the law that we are crafting today is not being done at the instance of Parliament. Parliament is not on its own accord fashioning this law. This law is coming from the Attorney General in the nature of a bill. He or she, in this case, recognizing the import of Article 88, has appeared before us that the burden on her shoulders is enormous. So she wants to assign responsibility to an officer. So this comes at the behest of the AG, and somebody is saying no. Is it a shepherd somewhere who is, you know, these things we say them on the floor? But no, I want to give a certain history. So this House is only helping her to craft it. I'll end. Where? So essentially, you speak. Essentially, the point I'm making is that the position by Speaker Okwe and Chairman Sabusu to do a direct authorization by an act
what you read is not a direct. Chairman was saying that the AG has come to give the authority through a law.
No, and I'm saying that all these positions
is not.
No, all these positions were disagreed with.
By who?
By the House. That is why I'm going.
The law?
No, that is why I'm going. So listen to me.
So what was the end objective?
So that is why I'm going. Can I please?
Yes.
I am telling you that the discussion, the position by some lawyers and some debaters that the Parliament at the time agreed with Chairman and Speaker and passed a law that gave direct authorization by the enactment to the OSP is inaccurate. These positions were strong from the leader of government business, from the Speaker, but the House disagreed. That's where I'm going.
I see.
So yeah, that's what I'm going. So Chase spoke for long because he was trying to convince all of us. So this House is only helping her to craft it in a mode that she requires.
I'm not reading everything. I just want how this ended because of time.
So when we got, so Che finally said, Mr. Speaker, I implore you, having listened to both sides, to now put the question. This is because what we are drifting to, there's no longer any value addition with respect. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker says, Chairman of the committee, your view. Then Chairman said, Mr. Speaker, I want us to proceed. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Chairman of the committee, could you please restate your amendments? Because it was his proposed amendments that generated this long debate.
Okay.
So he says, restate your amendment. Then he proceeds. It appears honorable members need to be refreshed. So Banda restated, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move clause 4, subclause 2, line 2, before authorized, insert B. So shall be authorized. So he moved it, so the new rendition will read, subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution, the office shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offenses.
That's the authority.
No? This mimics, hold on, this mimics Article 88.4. That before you do anything, you shall be authorized by the Attorney General.
Interpretation.
This is not interpretation. This is law. The law is subject to clause 4 of Article 88. The office of the OSP shall be authorized by the Attorney General.
It means it is. Present continuous.
So, what sort of English is that?
We didn't do all the English.
What sort of English is shall be authorized means it is authorized?
Yes.
Is that the language you are speaking? No, please. So let me conclude. So, Mr. Banda, so Mr. Speaker, I beg to move clause 4, subclause 2, delete and insert. So he restates it. Now, others are saying that Speaker directed that the drafters. What Speaker directed was this. Mr. Speaker, the end result of the proposed amendment is clearly stated. Mr. Speaker, it appears that we are done with the whole of clause 4. So Mr. Speaker says, Honorable Chairman of the committee, may I put the question on the entire clause if we have finished? Chairman, Mr. Speaker, we only want to do a little swapping by making subclause 2, subclause 1, and making subclause 1, subclause 2. So interpositioning, not redrafting.
Okay.
So, Speaker, that will be taken care of by the draft persons. After we have put the question on the entire clause, this juxtaposition is going to be taken care of by the. So we were done.
I see.
So Chair's position that there should be a direct authorization by the enactment were all disagreed with. So what the House approved. So the question put an amendment agreed to from the chairman. Period. That is all you see in the law.
In this.
Now.
This is.
Yes, this is all we approve in Parliament.
Section 4.2.
Yes.
Right.
Now hold on. How can Kofi say that shall be authorized by the Attorney General means it is authorized?
Yes.
And this is I brought the two allies.
I see. We'll get into that.
Hold on. I brought the two allies.
We'll get into the allies. I'll get into the. I'll get into the.
But see, there's a lot of confusion. So let's use the records. Let's use the records
to go through the Hansard.
So let's use the records to correct it, please. I'm on the floor. Let me finish.
That's why I allowed you to.
You have your time.
But the time is not. Hold on. That's why I allowed you to go through the Hansard. What's the issue with that? No, I'm going to come to you.
Hold on. He has referenced.
I'll come to you yes.
You see, he is in Parliament. They've had a chance to actually even
and because he sat through this process.
No, I'm saying that they've had the occasion to actually even just scrap the thing. So everything he's saying here is ending to that point. The point is that they want to scrap the thing. But we're saying
which point?
No, I'm saying that.
All he has said indicates that
yeah, I'm saying that. Their preference, everything he's saying, their preference is that office really is a nuisance.
Please,
they don't want to remove it.
Please.
That's okay. If that's all you're saying, that's fine.
Leave him alone.
I am saying that.
No, he has
was it not
indicated
part
that's
of the
what he's saying.
group that wanted to extinguish the office?
You are introducing a different argument.
No, I'm just saying that your motive is what I'm reading.
Please, please.
It's okay. All right, I take that back.
Richard, don't do that.
You brought a bill, but you didn't want to extinguish it. That's okay.
Please,
but the point here is this.
We can debate that matter separately. That's not what we are debating.
I'm just saying that it's part of your record. So I'm
just make a point.
Alfred, there is a certain interdependence between politics and law, where politics sets the agenda and the law provides the formal framework for that decision to be taken. So this matter is a political decision that was taken to provide for a certain office to deal with the problem we have as a society, which is corruption. So we must keep that in mind all the time. In arguing the law or the right for the office to achieve the intended objective, which is to fight corruption. Remember, Ghana is a state party to the UN's Convention Against Corruption. And that provision, Article 36 of that convention, requires that we set up a specialized office with the requisite power and autonomy to pursue corruption. So the Office of Special Prosecutor is actually in fulfillment of Article 36 of that convention. So we must know that it is not just something that somebody can decide to say, let's throw it away, let's put it here, let's put it over there. It's an essential part of our political evolutionary decision to make sure we deal with corruption. And the NDC were big on why we need to fight corruption when they were in opposition, and somehow they have become softies when they came into office. They are fighting corruption, the institutions that must fight corruption, the NDC is attacking it. And that's why my brother didn't want for me to say that they introduced a bill to extinguish the office. See, so what is the issue, really? Article 88 is clear. And I don't think that my brother would disagree that the power to prosecute is not delegable. It is delegable. If you look at Article 88,
it's clear.
Article 83 clause 88 clause 3 establishes the special prosecutor as the primary repository of prosecutorial power. But then
you mean the Attorney General?
The Attorney General, sorry. Yes. The Attorney General as a repository of all prosecutorial powers. Article 88 clause 3 says that. But then in 4, however, it provides the window for that power to be delegated.
That's it.
So what is the issue? And it says that if you read it carefully, it's not by accident. You know, in laws, words are put there for purpose. It says that in accordance with any law. So any law, in this case now, it brings into frame the Special Prosecutors Act, which is Act 959, which is a law that is crafted in line with this to give.
So does the LI
I'm coming. The act for now.
Does it satisfy this particular aspect of 88?
So the process begins with 4, where the act has been passed.
It's an expression of this.
959 has been passed. And now when you go to that, I think, let me just read it. It says, Honorable Chief Majority Chief Whip was reading the thing. Go to 78 of the Special Prosecutors Act, and the regulations. If you go all the way to K, and it talks about, let me just read the introduction. So the minister shall, they are talking about the LI. The minister shall, so this is where the LI was brought in to be able to authorize. It says 78 of the Act. 959 says that the minister shall, within 90 days upon the assumption of office of the special prosecutor, in consultation with the board, by a legislative instrument, make recommendation. So it lists a lot of matters in terms of directing how the special prosecutor acts in that office. Okay, from A all the way. But I want to reference you to K, which then would imply the authorization, which says that K says, provide generally for the effective implementation of the act. And the objective of the act is to fight what? Corruption and corruption-related acts. Okay, so this is the act. Then with that 78, you go to the LI. And the LI then tells you, okay, it's headline, in exercise of the power conferred on the minister responsible for justice by section 78 of the Office of Special Prosecutor Act 2017, these regulations are made this 23rd day of November 2018. You understand? So the action to authorize under 4 is being fulfilled. And all the conversation my brother referenced in his readings goes to confirm that there was this understanding. Now it only shows me how diligent they were in debating the matter. Yes, but after the debate was concluded, the necessary steps were taken. So any authorization is inherent in the LI. The LI effectively authorizes the AG. And so there is no other thing. And I read section 11 of the LI 2374, which is on decision to prosecute. This is the LI. Okay, says that the special prosecutor or an authorized officer shall, considering the fact and evidence gathered from an investigation, take a decision whether or not to prosecute.
He makes that.
This is the Attorney General authorizing by the provision Parliament passed. They agreed and passed, give the power to the Attorney General to issue this document, LI 2473, to operationalize the office.
Authorizes him to take
That's
a decision to prosecute.
So the authorization is inherent here. So what is the debate about?
So from the Constitution to a statute to an LI. Oh,
let him conclude.
But you had a long time. Let me go.
No, I didn't have a long time.
I have a very long time.
No, you had finished.
You have spoken a lot about
He
it.
should show you where it shows the authorization.
I just showed you.
You haven't showed me anything.
You see, and this is why.
Let him
The answer.
Where is it?
No, gentlemen, hold on.
Where is it?
He won't see. He won't see. So the point is that my brother.
You are alluding to something that is not there.
We just read the thing.
We crafted the legislation. It is not there.
If you crafted it, see, it doesn't mean we can't read it.
You are misreading the phrase.
My goodness.
You are misreading.
Give me 1 minute to do it.
No.
What is this?
Okay, you give 1 minute when they finish.
From your time.
Yeah, no problem.
See, give me 78. Give me.
Me, I'm here. You finish.
Listen, Alfred, this is how laws are made. The Constitution is the overall law of the land.
Yeah.
Now, constitutions are very broad, like you saw here. Okay? Any law, any person, statutes give expression to the Constitution.
Sure.
So they draw from the Constitution and have a law, a statute. In that law, it says that that OSP office shall be deemed to. That deemed to is not there. So I even made a post about it. But the shall there is present and continuous. Now, let me make a point. And every lawyer knows this. A cardinal rule of interpretation is that you avoid an interpretation that leads to absurd outcomes. Okay? Here is the absurd outcome in this. The purpose of the OSP is to prosecute independently of the AG.
Yeah.
Any interpretation of the law that leads to the outcome that OSP will prosecute with the supervision and authority is absurd. And it is a cardinal rule in interpretation, as Zafia Mepo, that you don't give any interpretation that leads to an absurd outcome. Now, after the statute, pursuant to the Constitution, you have an LI. An LI gives effect, directions to a statute, okay? And over here, it is written. Where is it?
Which one?
The 78 I want. Where it says that the OSP will make the decision.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, good. No. I'm looking for the LI. There's a place where it says that
11.
11. That's
11.
right.
Regulation 11.
That's circled right there.
Okay, good.
He crafted
I'm
this,
rushing.
so he will tell you.
You see,
where
now hold on. Listen to me.
The AG who crafted this one.
LI is a legislative instrument, and I need to make this point for education purposes. I beg.
Right.
You have an executive instrument. An executive instrument is an act of the president. It dies with the president. When you have a legislative instrument, it is pursuant to a law. A law is binding on everyone. It doesn't die with the president or the person who passed it. This is a legislative instrument pursuant to an act passed by parliament. So it is binding on the present AG and all future AGs. Now, you can change this by amending the statute.
Yeah.
All right? And this is what it says in 11. It says the special prosecutor or an authorized officer, which means an officer authorized by the special prosecutor, shall, upon considering, that is the special prosecutor considering facts and evidence gathered from an investigation, he shall take a decision whether or not to prosecute. How is that difficult to understand? The special prosecutor shall take a decision. This is pursuant to the act, pursuant to the Constitution. Done.
So you see, so the point is very clear. If the objective remains that we fight corruption, all of these things don't matter, because really, if the actions of the special prosecutor, subject to 88 and clause 4, where the powers of the Attorney General have been delegated, part of it have been delegated to the special prosecutor to independently prosecute. If that is not in debate, and the special prosecutor by his actions is not trying to supplant the office of the Attorney General or oust him, then there is no conflict at all. He should be allowed to prosecute his cases.
And the AG has collaborated with OSP.
Even in the Ken case. So really, where is this thing coming from?
Where is the problem?
Where is this? So my view is that the Supreme Court, who is now sitting on a matter in the review of this case before it with respect to the special prosecutor's power, whether or not it derives that from Attorney General, whether that should be removed and all of that stuff, should look at the functional interpretation of the law. And I think you said
prevent
that.
an absurdity.
Yes, and he said that to say that any interpretation that leads us to an end that doesn't contribute to the political objective of setting up that office is wrong. And so they should look at it. I don't see anywhere where the special prosecutor is impeding the work of the Attorney General.
They're actually collaborating.
He's actually helping, because the Attorney General, we have heard, is overwhelmed. And President Mahama was talking in the oral case where they have to get some independent or private. I'm saying
idea of bringing in.
It's essential. The president doesn't speak in a vacuum. Perhaps there is evidence or there's plans already afoot to do something like that, which is well and good. But the point is that the Attorney General cannot do this alone. That is why the Constitution envisions and says that some of that powers could be given for others to do the job. Okay? If the the Attorney General feels that perhaps there's a case going on and they want to enter nolle prosequi or whatever, it's still within his power, he can do that. But I'm saying that in enforcing the provision or the political decision to fight corruption, that must not be affected by these legal squabbles that people are engaged in. Because the laws that they have passed, and he's demonstrated, it was integral part of all these things, the objective is not to affect the Attorney General. The objective is to help Ghanaians fight corruption. That one must remain the cardinal point in all these conversations, so that we don't get into reading books and laws and all of that to lose
an absurd
the political
interpretation.
objective. That is why that office was created. And Ghanaians want corruption to be fought. And so if you make it about a law and injure that political objective of fighting corruption, what have you gained? What have you gained for the country? And so this whole business, my brother, you need to look beyond the laws and all of that and see the objective why the office was created.
Okay.
And Ghanaians will not forgive you if you get on this path of saying that you are going to, affect this office and the pursuit of fighting corruption. Ghanaians will not forgive you. And remember that your campaign in this country, some oral and all of these things that you talk about,
can you
now the time has come.
Let's
But you no. You see, Alfred,
Richard,
please.
Richard, I can do what you are doing. You have departed from the law and you are now talking something different.
I'm not sure that anybody made you a father of this program where you are telling people what to do.
No, I take
exception to what you're trying to do. So just hold on, please. You need to let him understand. Nobody made him a father of this program. So when he's talking, he must be mindful. I will withdraw. I will not. You can't do that.
Gentlemen.
No, Alfred, let him understand.
Mr. Okansi,
I have indulged you.
Mr. Okansi,
yeah.
What do you mean you have indulged?
I've indulged you. When I started speaking,
when I had my time, you interrupted.
I didn't interrupt you.
You interrupted. You were insisting that you wanted to speak.
You need to stop screaming. The point I am making to you is that
why you be on coof?
Hold on.
On this program, we don't do that.
I know what you can do, but I'm just telling you. Just hold on, Alfred.
Please.
The point I am making,
and
I want to make for his awareness. This thing we are doing here, this is not a law court. This is not a law court. This is a political platform. So So that point he made is uninformed to say that forget about politics, let's do law. There's no law.
So you
There's no law.
on your point.
What I'm telling you is that politics sets the agenda. And what is the agenda in this case? To fight corruption. So you can't come here and be reading law books and make it make this issue about law. It's not law. The law is done in the court. So go to court and litigate that matter. But here on the political platform, we do politics. And the agenda that was set by the country, led by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, when a law, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, passed in 2003 and became operational in 2005, when that law was passed, we needed to have created a body specialized to achieve that end. That body was eventually created in 2017. That body is what you are seeking to extinguish. And we are saying that that objective remains relevant. You cannot do anything to jeopardize the pursuit, okay, of the people of Ghana to fight corruption. By the way, when you were campaigning, you were saying that corruption was costing this country in billions a year. So we are engaged in fighting corruption, and you sit here and bring documents and you are trying to make it about law.
Hold on.
It is not law. If you want to do law, go to the court.
Thank you.
Here is not the courtroom. Here is a political platform. So if you are not ready to talk about the politics of it, don't come here and be yelling at people and create impression. No, I've made my point. You're not
I think you're just repeating.
No, I'm not repeating myself. So, Alfred, listen.
I think you've established the point that you take it from the political perspective.
But that's what it ought to be. And this whole thing is talking about that we should let's do the law. That is from I find that he is the one rather.
So
if
you
anybody
disagree.
has to withdraw anything, he ought to withdraw
disagree.
that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now,
he also takes it from a different perspective. Doesn't mean that that's wrong. Mr. Bento also took it from a different perspective. That's the view. Okay, that's the divergence that this platform also encourages. I'm going to go for this quick break. When I'm back, Nelson Ross and well, you have your take, and then Mr. Bento as well. But let me just remind you that the key point is probably brought to you by Bank of Africa and also GASEM. Activate your dormant account with Bank of Africa. Enjoy our refreshed products and services, including our enhanced SME support facility, US dollar debit card, credit card, and more. You may also update your account at any Bank of Africa branch with your Ghana card. Kindly reach our call center on 0302 429 333, 0302 496 690, or chat Fafa at www.boaghana.com for support or inquiries. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. And GASEM, also giving us strong support on the key point, is the nation builder. Now, also, the University of the Gold Coast, whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communications, operations and supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship and innovation, or business intelligence or analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or chartered MBA, that's manager MBA, University of the Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc International Relations, Communications and International Marketing, International Law and Security and Diplomacy, Accounting and Finance or Human Resource Management, an LLM International Law, Security and Diplomacy, or an MA in Biblical Studies and Practical Theology, the pathway is open. April admissions are open. Apply today. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. And that's what University of the Gold Coast is giving you. Give them a call on these two numbers. Tell them you heard me talk about it on the key point, and then they would take care of you in a special way. 054-288-9045, 054-288-9045, or 0263-888-555, 0263-888-555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. We'll be back shortly after this quick break. Stay with us.
In a world where love was found and hearts were broken, they came with hope, they left with memories. Some found love, others found lessons. But what happens when the story isn't over? This season, the stage reopens, not for a second chance, but for the truth. Secrets will be revealed, and emotions, they won't be hidden this time. In this reunion, closure is not guaranteed. Join us on Sunday, 26th April, 8 p.m. at TV3 premises, Studio B. Audience must be seated at 7 p.m.
Date Rush Season 15 shows every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Enapa Foods, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Obuasibites, numna wumwankasa.
Gold Board Jewelry.
My Life Insurance.
In a world where love was found and hearts were broken, they came with hope, they left with memories. Some found love, others found lessons. But what happens when the story isn't over? This season, the stage reopens, not for a second chance, but for the truth. Secrets will be revealed, and emotions, they won't be hidden this time. In this reunion, closure is not guaranteed. Join us on Sunday, 26th April, 8 p.m. at TV3 premises, Studio B. Audience must be seated at 7 p.m.
Date Rush Season 15 shows every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TV.
In a world where love was found and hearts were broken, they came with hope, they left with memories. Some found love, others found lessons. But what happens when the story isn't over? This season, the stage reopens, not for a second chance, but for the truth. Secrets will be revealed, and emotions, they won't be hidden this time. In this reunion, closure is not guaranteed. Join us on Sunday, 26th April, 8 p.m. at TV3 premises, Studio B. Audience must be seated at 7 p.m.
Date Rush Season 15 shows every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Enapa Foods, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Obuasi Bitters, Numna Wumwankasa.
Gold Board Jewelry.
My Life Insurance.
Sim.
Welcome back to Key Point on TV3. We're live on the Voice of London radio in the heart of the City of London and Voice of London television as well. Professor Stephen Kweku-Asare, good morning. Thank you so much for the feedback, and also, in fact, he says he's been following the conversation. He says to Nelson Ross in the film, shall be authorized is not the same as authorized, or it's not the same as is authorized. He says shall be authorized is not the same as is authorized. That's the, he just wanted to complement the point you're making. Is it ever on this particular issue earlier, the position that you are taking? And does the airline in itself, as it were, settle this matter so that we really didn't have to go on this path?
That's my view.
Council.
Okay. Now, you see, Richie says that the politics sets the tone and the law follows. But if you get the law wrong, there's nothing politics can do about it. They must follow the law. The intention was truly that to give the office a direct authorization. This debate, even at the committee level, we traveled. We were part of a team that we went to Canada, others went to Kenya, others went to Malaysia, and then I think US or UK. The committee was divided into about 3 groups. We brought reports. When we came to the second reading, the policy debate, all this, but eventually, there's no way. You see, the constitutional framework is the ground norm. You can't do anything to depart from that. So when the leader of government business thought that we could do directly, even Speaker thought that if we don't do it directly, tomorrow they'll be asking, go around, all those things came up. But the House came to the realization that there's nothing you can do without recourse to 88.4. So we replicated 88.4 in section 4.2 of the law. Now, the suggestion that the LI also provided a direct authorization is inaccurate. The LI did not. The LI only provided general guidelines. That is why in the LI, the operational one, yes, the operational one, everywhere we've used authorization, even in regulation 11 that I read, they say unauthorized officer. Unauthorized officer, unauthorized, you see, it's a derivative power. Once the Attorney General issues the authorization, the OSP himself and his officers, even the officers, you cannot sue moto, go and investigate a matter. You must be authorized by the OSP, qua OSP. Every action, you say authorized officer, authorized officer. In section 81 of the law, which is the transitional provisions, this was all we did. 81.1, the Attorney General may, on the coming into force of this act, authorize the office of the special prosecutor.
So the authorization has been consistent?
Yes, consistently used throughout. May, let me take it again. May, on the coming into force of this, let me leave it because that's a modifier. The Attorney General may authorize the office of the special prosecutor to handle any investigation or prosecution in relation to corruption and corruption-related offense being handled by IOCO, being handled by the prosecutions division of the AG's own office, by public prosecutors appointed under section 56 of the Act 30, and any other offenses of, and all those category of people. So we have been very particular because you see, he could have gone to court and said, no, the law that we passed is inconsistent with Article 88 and therefore it should be shut down. Then that effort would have been shut down.
So why did Parliament go ahead with this then?
Sorry?
Why did Parliament go ahead with all of these issues that came up during the debate to pass the bill?
But the law is to make the OSP request for authorization from the Attorney General. That has been the issue. And you see, the fact that nobody raised it with Martin Amidu doesn't mean it cannot be raised. It's about which authority for instance, in the law, to come to my house and search my premises, which they are power to do, you must be authorized by the OSP as a figurehead, as an employee of the OSP's office. For you to come and search me, the law says OSP must authorize you. So if I wake up in the morning and come to my gate, you are an employee of the OSP, okay, you are welcome. We are here to search your premises. I say, okay. But have you been unauthorized by the OSP? You should be able to produce an authorization from the OSP, qua OSP. That's how the law is. Everything, before you act, there's some form of authorization.
I see.
Now, if you check, we've used an authorized officer, authorization, every step of the way. Even the forms that are filled, it's an authorized officer,
So once authorized, can the AG withdraw the authorization or issue a
no, that is where we bring in the independence. You see, the Article 8 is a mandatory duty on the AG. It's a mandatory duty. It's not, the AG doesn't have a discretion.
So what instrument does he use? A letter, EI, LI, what?
No, it can just be a letter.
Just a letter?
Yes, just a letter.
Pursuant to this
A letter of authorization.
Just a letter. So you see, because the authorization will be formal.
And if you authorize, you can withdraw. You know that?
No. Act 30 says in section 56, we provide procedure where the AG will appoint public prosecutors. So we indicated that he could use EIs to do that. He won't come to Parliament. We'll just issue the EI and indicate the category of people. We considered all that. But in this law, we are saying that the mandate under 88 is such that the Attorney General has no discretion to exercise.
So I want you on record for clarity.
Yes.
So you mean all that has to be done is for AG to issue a letter saying,
yes,
and that once,
yes,
I beg you,
yes,
for the public,
yes,
that once he has issue that letter
Yes.
to OSP,
Yes.
he cannot withdraw it
He
anymore.
cannot withdraw. There's no
wait.
reversal. Yes.
He cannot do a nolle prosequi. He cannot advise on a case that OSP is doing.
Now,
Is that so?
Yes, because the OSP is independent. Once the authorization is given, you can't interfere.
What he's just said,
You see?
okay?
Yeah.
Honestly, that is not what I see. But if that is true, then that's what the LI did.
Yes.
But because the LI is strong. But if that is true, if you convince, wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, we are
you don't
on public.
necessarily-
Yes, we are on public.
So the view that you don't then.
The
if
LI
that's
is
the
stronger than
case-
the letter. But I'm saying I'm prepared to concede.
Okay.
But he is the one saying so here. Trust me, I've heard other things from other places. Now, so if he's on record saying so, I am saying also here that to that extent I will concede. Tomorrow,
Then you should issue a letter.
he should issue the letter. Because again, I
There's
tell
no
you, there is a
disagreement.
national policy.
I agree.
Okay, there is no impediment in the way of the AG. The AG has collaborated and is working with them even on the Ken case and other cases. Given the policy, given the fact that as a country this is where we want to go, the AG does not need to wait to be requested or asked or whatever.
Or wait
He should
for
issue the
the
letter.
Supreme Court to review.
So let me
And
read.
let the matter finish. Or wait for the Supreme Court to go
So
through.
you know what? Let me say this. The AG can suo motu issue the authorization
Yes.
without prompting.
Thank you.
The OSP too can prompt the AG to issue.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you-
yeah. I
if you
agree.
read-
I agree with
if you
you.
read Article 88(2), the Attorney General shall discharge such other duties of a legal nature as may be referred or assigned to him by the President or imposed on him by this Constitution or any other law.
So the president can even tell him to issue it.
Thank you.
So Nelson, make a call now. That
Thank you.
to resolve all the confusion in our courts and in the Supreme Court and the confusion in the minds of people, okay, as a matter of policy, as a matter to deal with this corruption thing, the AG should issue the letter Monday.
I have said it 3 days ago on Joy. I'm saying that to reduce all this,
Yes,
or
you
to,
should issue it.
to end all this hullabaloo, I'll urge my Attorney General to proceed to issue the
I
authorization.
totally agree with
Do
you.
you
Let's
understand?
proceed on that.
Yes, because that's what the law says.
I mean, so this is all the matter.
Yes,
solved it.
that's what the law says. That's what the law says.
Not all
see-
your guys have
No,
this
no, no,
position.
no. I've said it on
Oh,
Joy
then
that look,
you are not
go
normal.
ahead and issue the
That's
authorization.
it. That's
So
it.
that
solves the problem.
subsequently,
So why are we stressing?
Yes.
So now you agree.
The law, you see,
On
the
this we
law
agree because
imposes,
it cures the absurdity.
yes, the law imposes the duty both ways. That upon request it will be issued.
Or also motor.
But under Article
Or
88,
by the president.
Under Article 8, in fact, if anybody
quoted
is
88 too,
ambitious, if anybody is ambitious, the person can proceed under 88(2).
So this is 88(2).
That is mandamus.
The Attorney
Yes.
General,
The Attorney General.
shall discharge
Yes.
such other duties
Yes.
of a legal nature
Referred.
as may be referred or assigned to him by the President or imposed on him by this
by this Constitution or any other law.
And the law will be
OSP law
OSP
says
law.
that the Attorney General shall authorize the OSP to initiate and prosecute
No,
cases.
I agree with this.
Do you understand?
This solves
this
the
is
problem.
what we did.
Okay, so
This is what,
so
because
let me
that's
just
the derivative power.
Okay, so you are saying that the LI does not meet that standard. Of
It's
the
not like-
authorization.
it's not
Listen,
sufficient.
you see, the
It's
LI
not
is
sufficient.
professional.
It's not sufficient.
Because when you are given the authorization to proceed, when you investigate, you need to make
So
decisions.
you stop
Yes.
at the point.
And the LI says
for
make
You know,
authorization
you
to
need to,
prosecute.
no. Before you prosecute, when the authorization comes
Yeah.
to the office and you begin your
Not
work.
all investigations lead to prosecution.
Yes.
Yes.
So you will make decisions. So the LI says to make that decisions, Regulation 11 says when you investigate, make the decision.
All right.
Make the decision.
But then to prosecute, you need authorization.
No, the authorization comes with everything. Once
So
it is
one
managed-
authorization,
yes.
everything
would then-
You see, that is what the suspect is in court saying. That once you can show me that the AG has given you go ahead.
So Kofi
I don't know about
Asari
submit.
of African
Yes.
Education Watch
Then the
says,
matter is as
The
simple as that.
matter is
yeah,
very
if you say
simple.
so.
Okay.
Honestly, it's a
Honorable
very
Dr.
simple
Ameko,
matter.
Kofi Asari,
Yeah.
African Education Watch says, the question is, why hasn't the AG issued the authorization?
That's all.
Yes.
So we can ask that question.
Yes.
We can also ask why hasn't Kisi requested for the authorization?
Yes,
Okay.
but
But I see your
is
point.
what-
But
it's more
Thank
important
you.
for
The
you.
interest-
Then
the-
puts a burden.
It's a policy, yes.
At clause 2 puts a burden on the Attorney General.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
So if
So I'm
anybody
gonna call the Attorney General, let him come and ask.
triggers 88(2), in a mandamus application,
he's obliged to do it.
Yes.
If the AG will not go and say the act itself was not constitutional, because that argument is being made.
Yes, but I told him that I disagree with him.
I agree.
I disagree with
you
him.
have
let's round it
repaired the matter.
No.
Well, now
You see, my issue.
But would they agree with you? That's
I
the
hope
point.
so.
Oh, but that's the law. You see,
okay.
these things,
Okay.
when the law is straight, is straight.
Okay.
I hope everybody thinks the way you think.
Look,
Because this should be
my issue with the OSP, my issue with the OSP is that is guzzling money. We are not getting value for money. You
What about
understand?
Yoko?
Well,
Yeah.
we can we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Because look, my expectation is that as we speak, Kisi has just about 9 lawyers. They have a lot of administrative staffers, but the lawyers who do the prosecution, they're inadequate.
Okay.
We have
All of these
urged-
reforms have to take place.
We have
That's a
urged to-
management thing.
issue.
And it's separate from
Yes.
the
No, but
mandate.
it's part of the value for money. We say open regional offices so that you can have your, like an octopus, you can have your presence in the region. You see, part of the OSP office is also to prevent.
Okay.
It's a
When people-
deterrent factor.
Yes, when people know that you are very closer to them.
Right.
Look at the Auditor General report.
Yeah.
I said that is his folder. That is his primary
Yeah,
folder.
they should go straight from Public Accounts Committee straight.
Prosecute the people.
Yeah.
So be in the regions, be in the districts, because that is where the
Where
leakages
it takes
are.
place. Okay. Thank you,
But,
gentlemen.
but you are
Thank you very much.
cocoon in the center,
Now,
far away from the people.
Convince the people about this. I'm with you.
I'm going to-
Gentlemen, I have to give you something
It
before we go.
solves
everything.
And so, on behalf of Bank of Africa, so there are a few gifts
I hope it's
to
money.
give to you. I don't know what's
Bank,
in there,
yeah.
but Bank of Africa
If a
says
fisherman is
thank you
coming to
for
give you a
coming.
gift, it has to be fish.
Yes, thank you very
so
much.
it has to be what goes to the
That's
bank.
why he's going to give you a
Yes, it's for Martin Kibu as well. So thank
please,
you.
please, let's
From Bank
disclose
of
so before they
Africa
come and
to
tell you they give you a bag of money.
Yes.
Full disclosure.
It's-
But what if you-
there are a
you
lot
check
of
and
things
it's
in
money
there.
for-
Thank you very much. So Bank of Africa, thank you. Thank you. Kofi Beto, thank you. Thank you.
In a world where love was found and hearts were broken, they came with hope, they left with memories. Some found love, others found lessons. But what happens when the story isn't over? This season, the stage reopens, not for a second chance, but for the truth. Secrets will be revealed, and emotions, they won't be hidden this time. In this reunion, closure is not guaranteed. Join us on Sunday, 26th April, 8 p.m. at TV3 premises, Studio B. Audience must be seated at 7 p.m.
Date Rush Season 15 shows every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Enapa Foods, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Obuasibites, numna wumwankasa.
Gold Board Jewelry.
My Life Insurance.
In a world where love was found and hearts were broken, they came with hope, they left with memories. Some found love, others found lessons. But what happens when the story isn't over? This season, the stage reopens, not for a second chance, but for the truth. Secrets will be revealed, and emotions, they won't be hidden this time. In this reunion, closure is not guaranteed. Join us on Sunday, 26th April.
After weeks of fun, laughter, and amazing performances, 5 incredible stars have made it to the grand finale of Talenta Kids Season 17. Queen Dessa, the little queen with the golden voice that melts hearts every time she sings.
Now that I escape, sleep, walk her away. Those who can relate, no.
DJ Zim, the young master of the turntables, bringing beats that make everyone move and groove.
How many times did I write to me?
So what?
Them when they want you, my best, you the best.
For Alicia, a powerful young voice using beautiful words to tell stories that touch our hearts.
The flash of mighty, the swing in my waist.
Eno the poet, bold, confident and full of wisdom, speaking truth and inspiration beyond these years.
But I still feel the weight of her absence.
Jasper Blue, full of energy and magic, lighten up the stage with jaw-dropping dance moves. These amazing kids have given it their all, and now it comes down to one unforgettable night. Join us at the National Theatre on April 26th at 3 p.m. Tickets are just 50 Ghana cedis, available at the TV3 premises. You can also vote by dialing *713*13# or download the MG Reality app to vote.
Talented Kids Season 17. Powered by Indomie. Tastes great.
Sponsored by Flora Tissues, Top Choco,
Gino Jollof Mix,
Didi Shito,
Fratelli Calipo,
Nero Prime Water,
Coco Plus, CTIW Foundation,
Kel Kids Toothpaste.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmini, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
After weeks of fun, laughter, and amazing performances, 5 incredible stars have made it to the grand finale of Talented Kids Season 17. Queen Dessa, the little queen with the golden voice that melts hearts every time she sings.
Now that I escape, sleep, walk her away. Those who can relate, no.
DJ Zim, the young master of the turntables, bringing beats that make everyone move and groove.
How many times did they write to me?
Alicia, a powerful young voice using beautiful words to tell stories that touch our hearts.
The flash of mighty. The swing in my waist.
Eno the poet, bold, confident and full of wisdom, speaking truth and inspiration beyond these years.
But I still feel the weight of her absence.
Jasper Blue, full of energy and magic, lighten up the stage with jaw-dropping dance moves. These amazing kids have given it their all, and now it comes down to one unforgettable night. Join us at the National Theatre on April 26th at 3 p.m. Tickets are just 50 Ghana cedis, available at the TV3 premises. You can also vote by dialing *713*13# or download the MG Reality app to vote.
Talented Kids Season 17. Powered by Indomie. Tastes great.
Sponsored by Flora Tissues, Top Choco.